It's important. It's important.
Oh.
We talk about Lost a lot, actually.
Lost is like what made me like the types of genres I like.
Brother,
Yes.
you came to the right place.
Like,
came to the right place.
It's what made me love theorizing. It's what made me love like vague storytelling. Like ambiguity, sci-fi.
Sitting on the Lost wiki or like
The
informed-
Lostpedia?
Lostpedia, dude. I would read Lostpedia all the time. Just look at little details that, were Easter eggs and things that would
Yeah.
probably never resolve into anything. But the open-endedness and like the theorizing and the community that it built was like important for me growing up.
Yeah, because I do stuff with like characters on my channel that the community have kind of like built themselves first, and then I can like legitimize them. And I started doing that, and I do that same thing where I'm like, what does it all mean? I'll never tell. And like people love that. And I'm like, man, it's so fun to see that that's still alive. Because
Right.
it's like everybody wants all the content. And like, what does it mean? And everyone wants to like, pick apart stuff all
Right.
the time. And I'm like, I don't want to like tell people what stuff means.
It's like that. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
I've always found that idea of like, well, this art or this thing I'm enjoying is only valid if the entire time there has been a result. And like,
Yeah.
anybody that's ever written or even thought of an idea or even played D&D knows that, I mean, really, it's a little bit of jazz. The thing you end up with is
Yeah.
literally never going to be the exact thing you thought of at the beginning.
Yeah.
But all that matters is the illusion during that period of time. Like, oh wow, at the time I completely thought the DM had like a really clear idea for the
Yeah.
whole time. But hey man, you don't have to explain everything in Lost for me to enjoy wondering what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
I think their problem was that they told people that they had an end goal
Yes.
the whole
Yeah.
time, and then they came out years later and were like, no, we were kind of like making it up as we went.
Yeah,
I didn't cook the food.
I don't know if you saw this. There was this big piece that came out in Vanity Fair. There's like a
Yeah, I was going to bring it up. I was like,
Yeah.
well, not to take the shine off it a little bit.
No. We're in. So please, like
Because I read that and I'm like Lost is my favorite TV show, and
Yeah.
it's that reconciliation with like how it was made and like the like racism behind the closed doors and everything. And it's like, does that change the final product? Should I
Right.
still like it? Kind of
Right,
stuff.
right.
And I guess that's like Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling shit
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
going on right now, and people finding out like H.P. Lovecraft was a racist, and it's like
and that's like we knew that.
He was so good at racism.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
of the best racists.
Yeah.
And
there's
that's
ever
like the
been.
whole conversation then about like, well, it was like so far back and everybody
Right.
was racist back then.
Exactly. Or it's like George Washington
He was,
having.
I mean, H.P. Lovecraft was racist for them. That's maybe what's the
It was just
most
the
impressive.
vibes.
Oh yeah,
then.
it was just vibes. And it was easy to look away.
I was really sad reading it because like Harold Perrineau,
yeah.
he was like talking about how it's like, well, we have like a black kid that goes missing, and like we can't have people not care about this, and we can't have a black
Yeah.
father not care
Right,
about
because
this.
there's already this trope in society.
Yeah, it's so
that-
stereotyped, and
the
like
stereotype.
we don't need that like racial stereotype in the show. And then it was like, okay, you're written out of the show like
Yeah,
a season later.
Yeah, it's wild. And also, because the article talks about how Harold Perrineau, who plays Michael in Lost, he, as an actor, was like a huge get for the show because he had already been in Oz. He had already been in 2 Matrix movies.
Wait, he's in the Matrix?
Yeah, he's Link.
Oh shit, he is.
Yeah. He's like, I came here to work. Like, I want you guys to use me.
Yeah.
And then him saying, I want you guys to use me, it turned into, well, if we don't have a good way to use you, then I guess we should let you go. And it's like,
Yeah, and he
okay.
was
Why don't you
basically
use me
like,
in-
how can we like represent this better? Like put me in the writer's room and like do this better, which is so crazy for a show that's like lauded for its like diversity.
Yeah.
Like having Korean people and like black people and like all these like different cultures in it. And then it's like, and then you did that. Cause the thing that was like crazy was that the Mr. Echo one.
The Mr. Echo one, yeah.
Because he was supposed to be like the new John Locke in the show. He was supposed to go the whole 9 yards, and he was supposed to be in the whole thing.
So much, like, they were setting him up for so much.
Yeah. And then he was like, well, I don't want to live in Hawaii. I want to go back to London and live with my family. And then I think they were pissed at him for that, but they were like, okay, we get it. We can't do that to you. So he was killed off in the show like really quick.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were like, hey, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Forever, actually.
And then it came out that Carlton Cuse was like, I don't want him to just die. I want to hang him, chop off his dick and shove it down his throat. And it's like, okay.
Okay.
And then
That's
for
bad for now.
for
even.
his part, it's alleged, and Carlton Cuse says he has no recollection of that and never said it. But Carl DeCuse is old as shit. And I would not be fucking surprised. And he's like old Hollywood.
And it feels like the more it kind of comes out, because Damon Lindelof kind of like went off and did his own stuff, and he did like the Watchmen show, and he did The Leftovers, and like he's done some good stuff since.
And people really, the worst people online really hated Watchmen because of its diversity and treatment of...
Because there's like that whole one episode about like racial equality and like going back in time and like seeing all that kind of stuff. So
like, Watchmen's about cool guys.
Yeah.
It's about how cool Rorschach is.
It's like, oh, I can't be an incel and like Watchmen anymore.
The hell? The comedian's the hero.
And it's like, and Damon, isn't, he also had that thing with allegedly where he was like, he called me a racist, so I fired his ass with regard to like Carol. But he did seem at least acknowledging and apologetic to the environment that was created at Lost. But going back to like whether that takes away something from the art, it's hard to say, but there is a complex history and it's a reflection of society and like how we have like evolved. Like so much stuff used to be okay on not even behind the scenes, but like in front of the scenes. Cause like what was like reality TV of the time was like super horrible, like
I still think Lost moved the diversity needle a little bit more in the right direction.
Right. Because
just in the show itself,
even if it could be seen as like tokeny, like behind the scenes, if they were not the most respectful to that diversity and like sort of paying service to that diversity, optically for a long enough time, it was lauded for that. And then other people kind of took those cues on the surface. And I think it did sort of hopefully nudge things in a better direction.
Such a small number of people engaging with the meta
even for someone like me, because I was like a teenager when it was coming out, and I just thought it was cool to see all these like other cultures represented.
Right.
And
for sure, yeah.
I later in my life like dated someone from Korea and like learned Korean like a little bit and like went there because of that show.
Yeah.
And I think seeing that kind of stuff, and I'm thinking about like younger black kids who are watching it who don't really like get the higher end, high complex narrative of it. They just see people that look like them on TV.
It's so funny. I wonder if the Sad Boys like audience is like, you guys talk about Lost a lot. I'm going to check it out. Great. Hey,
I hope so.
Watch the first great pilot.
I think Lost needs like a Dragon Ball Kai.
Yeah.
We need like I'm always want to watch Lost. I'm like, I want to watch it without the flashbacks, but they're so important, but I know what's in them. So I'm like, I can't watch 26 episodes of an hour of television for 6 seasons again.
100%.
It's a certain era of television where they were reliant on advertising. The more episodes you have, the better for the show.
Yeah, you needed to keep people for like a half a year to watch your show. Modern day just shows that you can tell that story condensed.
Right.
You don't need it to be as big.
Okay, so Lost like sort of was a shockwave throughout television, and after it ended, and it did do this thing where they wanted it to kind of keep going forever. ABC probably would have preferred if it had just kept stringing people along.
Yeah.
But they were like, kind of let's put our foot down. And then in the wake of Lost ending, there were so many shows that were trying to occupy that space. Fringe was one with, a modicum of success. Joshua Jackson, Anna
Which at
Torv.
least is still J.J. Abrams. So it's like, it's still made by some of the same people.
I fucked with Fringe. I got some Fringe DVDs over there. You maybe remember Flash Forward. Do you remember that show?
Watch Flash Forward.
Ooh. Flash Forward was like a...
That could not be more on the nose.
Clearly Lost inspired, yeah.
Season 2, Flash Sideways.
Yeah.
I found.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl, how's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, or you want it? Girl, too rich for me.